Well guys, I think I got a new pet. I think I'll call it Spot. Remember I showed you pinholes on this the other day? Well, we had pinholes. I was going to use gray spot putty on it, but I thought I'd do it in red so you guys can see just what we're looking at. Pretty, huh? I probably got 90% or better covered with one coat. Very light coats. Pile of lacquer putty on. That's what I'm using on lacquer putty. You pile this stuff on too heavy and it'll never dry right. So just light coats. That's what I'm using here. Just a red lacquer glazing putty. Some of these spreaders. This is an oldie here. Pliable spreaders. I like to put them on with soft spreaders. But something like this, invaluable here. See how flexible they are. This is a whole mop board. Just take it and cut it off. Cut it however long you want it. Say it's all flexible. Cut them real narrow to get in tight spots. Bend them down. See what I mean? You can follow a contour. They'll bend right down. Beveled edges make them real nice. They clean up with lacquer thinner, acetone solvents. It doesn't eat them up. So that's kind of like, I guess, the tip of the day there, guys. You have to buy those expensive ones. You can buy a length, or if you know a contractor, get some off-fall scrap. Cut them out with your bandsaw, hacksaw, jigsaw, whatever. They cut real easy. So I've probably been doing this in segments. I didn't get on this morning. Worked on it here this afternoon. I like to put my heavy coat of primer on when I know I'm going to spot putty like this. This is a lacquer-based primer. And then come back before I block sand it out and put my first application of spot putty on it. That way I find that I am usually able to get by with just 2 primer applications. But it sure does look nice here today, like it's got chicken pox or something. Alright guys, there you go. That's it for Monday. Hey guys. Been sanding on it. A lot of you guys probably haven't used any lacquer products. They're really user friendly. The biggest thing is the solvent pop everyone worries about. And the key to that is not to apply the product too heavy. You apply it too heavy and trap the lacquer thinner in before it has a chance to evaporate out and it skins over. You trap the solvent under the surface. That can cause you lots of headaches. If I apply lacquer primer, acrylic primer heavily, I don't put as much thinner in it. I don't thin it down as much. In turn, there's not as much solvent in to evaporate out. It's still a risk. You're better off to mix it properly and apply multiple thin coats and allow ample flash time in between. Once you learn the product, you learn the tricks you can get away with, things you can do. I sand this with 220. It's a soft block here. I like to take the stick-on pads, put them on a piece of small, soft block. This is, like I said, I've used it before and told you guys, it's wrestling mat. It's hard on one side, soft on the other. I'll show you a little bit here how it sands. Say lacquer primer and lacquer putty. It sands very quickly, very easily. Doesn't clog up your paper bed. You recall this part was full of pinholes? And that's what I did. I went over and I lacquer putty, spot putty them in. And you see right there with 220 paper, nothing stays on the paper, sands out very well. As far as the primer itself is sandy, easily. Like I said, this piece of sandpaper I pretty much use over the entire process here. As long as you allow the lacquer to dry, it's very easy to work with. I'm not promoting lacquer products. I have a bunch of stuff left over from years ago. When I get these kind of jobs like this that are my personal jobs, I'll go ahead and use them versus buying new products. 2K primer would work great on this project. It's just I still have probably 4, maybe 5 gallons of lacquer primer in storage. So I intend on using it one way or the other versus disposing of it. You can see here how these work. There's a pit right here still again, a large one that can be filled again. But all these smaller pits, sander marks, they're all taken care of. Sands out exceptional. I'm sure there's a lot of us YouTube guys that have used lacquer products over the years. I'm sure some like them, some don't. But I'm sure there's a lot of you, especially younger guys, who've never used this stuff before. You can't even get it in some places. It's still available here in Ohio. I haven't bought it in a long time. The other little point here, I was going to think of is when you're sanding on fiberglass parts, not like steel parts. You can sand away your part. So always want to remember that. Watch your surface depth, watch where you're at. Watch all of your lines and edges. You sand on them and they will go away. It's a lot easier to watch what you're doing on your sand work and save that line than it is to sand it off and try to rebuild it back. There you go, guys. Kind of see what we're doing here, how easy the lacquer product works out. And I'm not advising if you use it. I'm just saying it definitely has its applications. I've got 2 cars still in my possession, my 49 Oldsmobile and my 57 Chevy. The paint jobs on those cars are over 20 years old. And they were done with lacquer primers, lacquer fillers, and then painted with acrylic enamel. And they've held up extremely well. So they are good products if used properly, but it's so easy and tempting to dump the product on heavy, and then you leave at least the trouble for you. So you kind of have it what I'm doing today. I'm going to go ahead and finish up what I have going on here with my sanding. So you can see here how these come out. Sands very nicely. I get it finished block here. All I have left is this front fender and then down on the front here. I get that done. I've got some structural underneath this front pan down here. Over here, you see I put a screw in to pull it back down. I'm going to have to flip it back over and do some more reinforcing on the bottom of that pan. So this is a used part. It was used on a car, and it had a big steel bracket fastened to it underneath, and that pan was just whoppered all out of shape. I've got it pretty close now. I get that spot fixed over there. I'm going to put some, and finish my mounting of this part to my wood frame before I make the mold. I'll run some strut braces down to the frame down there to hold that pan securely. Like I said, I am going to backfill the headlight openings, park light openings, and grill openings, so the mold won't have those holes in it. They'll have to be cut out after the part is made. So there you have it, guys. I decided to, I've got gray spot putty too. I decided to use the red so you could see how much spot putty is left and the application of the spot putty. Spots like this. This was a stress crack. Now the spot putties fill those and we're nice and even. Stress cracks in the gel coat, very common for old fiberglass parts. Spider cracks, star cracks. When you start sanding off an old fiberglass part, you'll really find all that stuff. Alright guys, there you have it. I'm going to shut it off and get back to work here. It's about 1:30 here right now. My wife's got her first softball game of the year this afternoon. I'm going to try to get showered and make it to her game. So, see if the rain holds off here. There you have it today, guys. Thanks for watching. One other thing, guys, I just thought I'd throw in about using lacquer products, acrylic primers, and I use lacquer thinner. That's your solvent, that's your reducer. But always keep in mind when you're using lacquer products and you're using lacquer thinner, it's absorbed in the skin very easily. Wear gloves. Don't get it on your hands if you absolutely can avoid it. And remember, when you're spraying lacquer products, lacquer thinner atomizes very easily. Always wear your respirators and masks. When you're rinsing out your guns, you're not supposed to spray the gun out to clean it. I'm sure that a lot of people still do. But just remember, lacquer thinner atomizes extremely easily. It's easily absorbed through the skin. You definitely want to breathe the vapors, especially when you spray and it's atomized. Safety first, guys. Try to keep that in mind.